Hello everyone, I'm Rob McClendon. Thanks for joining us here on Horizon. Well, ask any native Oklahoman and they're bound to have some story or favorite saying from the life of Will Rogers. Even today, more than 80 years after his death, Rogers' wit-laced wisdom will not only bring a smile to your face, but make you think. And for singer-songwriter Beau Jennings, those thoughts have turned into the award-winning album and documentary, The Verdigris. Our Blaine Singletary was there for its debut on RSU Public Television to learn more on why Jennings has gone the extra mile to bring Will Rogers to a new generation.
My name is Beau Jennings, and Will Rogers is my hero. He has been ever since I was a young boy.
Beau Jennings is a musician turned filmmaker who was born in Inola, just a stone's throw from Will Rogers' birthplace in Oologah. His latest work, The Verdigris, In Search of Will Rogers, celebrated its public television premiere at the Will Rogers Memorial Museum in Claremore.
Well, I set out to make the record, and I knew that based on the subject matter, he was such a special person, I thought I need to make this record in a special way.
And so The Verdigris, like the river it was named for, became a winding, sprawling journey, following in the footsteps of Will Rogers.
Traveling to places where Will lived, worked, etc., and recording a song in those places. And along the way, I thought, well, we should document it with photographs, maybe some videos, and it spiraled from there.
Every detail in this production was meticulously planned, especially the music.
Let the radio waves bring you back to shore.
Yeah, I debated for a long time whether to make music that was stylistically tied to that period. On the other side, I wanted to make something that sounded modern to illustrate the expanse of time that his legacy has endured.
Each stop on his journey brought new challenges. For example, the first stop, Will's birthplace, is now covered by the Verdigris itself. But those challenges brought creative solutions.
The idea behind this was to make a floating memorial to the actual spot where Will Rogers was born.
Before the water came rushing in, before a marker could be made, I'll sing a song instead for the life here floating in this place.
From there, Beau traveled to such places as Rogers, Arkansas, and performed at the exact spot where Will got married to his wife, Betty.
And the more you told me no, it got a little bit more cold. And when it finally froze, around the world I slid.
To New York, New York, where Will's vaudeville act brought him fame. And Barrow, Alaska, where Will's career was tragically cut short.
And it feels like I'm back at the start. I feel it over my head, and it flows on down to my open heart.
Sometimes I kiss my cell phone.
Along the way, Beau met with the people also working to carry on Will's legacy. People like Will Rogers' interpreter, Andy Hogan.
So I get to play the part of Will Rogers down here and tell the Will Rogers story.
Hogan and the others at the Will Rogers Memorial Museum worked with Jennings from the very beginning when this project began several years ago.
I was working in the gift shop. He came in and told us what he was interested in doing and had me to give him a few quotes. And then
My favorite one on Will has to do with this humility, that no man is great who thinks he is.
you hear somebody say it means a whole lot more than if you have to read the thing. So he got a kick out of that, and he really helped us because our job is to get Will out there. So we were certainly glad to help.
The project that Beau is outlining to me in my office was something entirely new, nothing that had ever been brought to my attention before.
Steve Greggert is the former director of the Will Rogers Memorial Museum.
And to me, it was an exciting prospect to have Will brought to the people through music, original music, that somebody's going to compose who knows him, at least has a heart for him.
But Beau says even after this long journey, he's not sure why he has a heart for him, or why he's such an important inspiration.
It's still something that isn't completely concrete or tangible, but I think you can point to any number of reasons. He was just an extraordinary person, and he did extraordinary things, and to extraordinary degrees.
And perhaps his fame and carrying on his legend is reason enough.
He was at one time the most famous person in the world, and I think today he's fondly remembered, but not deeply remembered. I think there's just an opportunity to reintroduce him to the public.
What are we gonna find on Santa Monica Range?
Now, since the film and the accompanying soundtrack album have been released, the Verdigris has gone on to win many awards, including the #1 Okie album of 2015. Now, if you'd like to learn more about Will Rogers, I have a link to my story on another award-winning documentary by RSU Public TV on Rogers' political commentary. And trust me, his wisdom is as relevant today as it ever was. To see that, head over to okhorizon.com and look under our value-added section. Now, when we return, the long journey back from stage 4 cancer for award-winning musical artist and Oklahoma native Wade Hayes.